1889, an event was held called the Land Run. And literally people lined up at a starting line, their horses, their wagons, on foot, and a gun was fired and people ran into the territory and claimed a piece of land for their own. So because I grew up in Oklahoma, when I was in 4th grade, we celebrated the Land Run. And you can imagine my little 4th grade self in a checkered shirt and probably a straw hat, maybe a bandana, something like that, out on the school playground in the back of the school, stakes in hand, rope in the other hand. I don't know if a gunshot was fired, maybe a whistle was blown, and we ran out onto the playground and staked off our piece of land, tied our rope around those stakes, and then ate our lunch there. This is a reenactment of the Land Run. It's only as an adult that I look back and see that and think there might not be a better encapsulation of a colonizing worldview.
I don't think we should shame ourselves when we do feel that. I get that all the time, this anger, this like, it's so enraging to see what's going on. And what I turn to is a couple of things. One is kind of to understand that by othering those people, to see them as the enemy, what I'm actually doing is playing into that worldview of separation. That even if I might win some victory, I actually haven't won anything at all. Actually losing the ultimate, I don't even want to call it the war, because it's not a war. It's the exact opposite. It's that ultimately, that connectivity of love. That's the only way we're going to move things forward.
I found a bone. It's a much more humble bone. It's a small thing. But something amazing happens when I pick up this bone. So I hold it, right? And something cracks inside me. And suddenly I look around, up into the blue sky, out to the Sangre de Cristo Mountains, which are ringing the whole of this part of the desert. And there's space everywhere. You know, I'm from England. That's really small and cramped like this. So wham! Wham! It's huge. And I'm part of it. And oh, and there's this sound. So I hold this bone, there's this sound of this resonance. You know that sound when bees start humming? Or maybe it's a didgeridoo or something very deep, very, very like the sound of the sea on the shingle, and you're hearing it and it feels it's resonating, right? What's it resonating with bone, with my own bones? Oh, wow, I'm here, I'm on the planet. 87, right? That was a long time ago. I was 33. And I just woken up that here I was on the earth.
The reason you feel like you don't belong, or the reason you feel like you're an orphan, is because by using that language of the loss of belonging, you're putting yourself out. It's kind of like the same issue with the human nature, culture, nature duality. It's like by using the very language, you've already situated yourself out of that dynamic, when actually the reality is, at least biologically speaking, we are always belonging, right? We are always in reciprocity with the biosphere. You know, right now as I'm speaking, I'm breathing, I'm drinking my water, you know, photons are hitting my eyeballs. There's constant reciprocity with the living, breathing, organic world at all times. And yet there's a wedge, there's something in there, right? And that's the loss of belonging, orphanhood. But I just wondered what you thought about, I suppose, that both and situation of belonging and not belonging.
What you say sort of resonates for me in terms of, and forgive me, because, you know, as I said, I studied religion, and it sort of reminds me of Buddhist philosophy. Like, you're already Buddha, but you have to clean the mirror in order to be able to see that, or experience it, I should say, fully. To understand it might take a lifetime, or more, several lifetimes, depending on, you know, what your thoughts are on reincarnation. But the idea being that yes, we are always already, and also we're you know, far distant from ourselves because of, we call it misperception if you want to. You know, but I guess I'll circle back to the sort of tangible metaphor of cleaning the mirror, and discover. So the process of discovery can be very real. That, and the feeling of excitement of discovering your own belonging, I think, can be very exciting, even if you always and already do belong, or always and already an earthling or a placeling, as people sometimes say.
A truly integrated consciousness, one that really recognizes all that connectedness, to honor the anger also, and the rage, and to recognize, I feel that so much in myself, and to actually look at that as a gift. It's a gift in the sense that it can turn us to engaging. And the same goes not just with the anger and rage, but also the sense of deep sorrow. When we look at what is being done to life, when we look at the destruction taking place, the greatest genocidal crimes probably that have maybe even happened on all of life's history, the life itself being destroyed by the civilization. And it leaves me in so much rage. But when I feel that, what I try to do is say, okay, like, feel that, don't close down that rage. There's nothing wrong with it at all. It's what life wants me to feel. But then how can I use that skillfully to convert, to basically shift that into the energy to engage?
If you don't die, if some part of you doesn't die, you don't get to experience love. You don't get to experience the earth. That's the core thing of those mysteries. Part of you has to go. And we're all talking about belonging, and we're all talking about wanting to be wonderful beings, but what part of ourselves are we prepared to give up? That's what I want. That's what the question I ask myself. How much do I need to go to give up? What do I need to die to? What amount of consumerism do I need to give up? Or huge grandiosity ideas of myself do I need to give up in order to know the love of the earth?